Talk to Me Like the Rain. Um, I understand this was originally adapted from a Tennesse Williams one act play, Talk to Me Like the Rain and Let Me Listen. Cinematography on this was great, and I loved the actors, especially the girl. She had such a likable quality to her, very, very relatable. You felt a lot of empathy toward her, and it gave you the story of this, kind of made you want to know what was going on between the two of them. I think the filmmakers did a great job in the flashback sequences, and also it wasn't really a flashback sequence because it was kind of what she was talking about what she had wanted and stuff like that. Um, I loved the differences between those sequences, between the two of them. How his was a little bit more black and white with flashes of color, and hers was very ethereal. Um, yeah, this was done really, really well. Um, but it felt a little cerebral. I'm not sure if the play actually translated to the screen, but I liked it. I did. I thought that it was done really, really well, and the cinematography was gorgeous.
This was intense. You could see that this is a failing relationship. They're desperately trying to salvage it. He quite clearly had a wild night and is lying to her about what happened. He quite clearly has a vague memory of what happened, and he's talking to her about being at a beach and ending up in a hotel when it's quite clear he cheated on her, did drugs, and she's quite aware of what probably really happened. She's wanting him to come back. She's wanting that relationship that they used to have. She's picturing a different life. It's quite a poetic film where they can both tell these long monologues to each other, these long stories, but they're both picturing such different lives. She has a romantic future pictured where at the countryside, a beach, growing old together, where it's a nice peaceful life where he's still needs to grow up a little bit, where he's still in that wild party boy phase. It's quite clearly a relationship that's doomed. It's not a very good relationship. This is a quite a tragic film. It's beautifully made, beautifully shot, but it's one of those tragic stories that you could tell that the relationship, they're clinging to what's left, and they don't want to admit that it's over. And it's a relationship that they're trying to salvage, whether it can be or not. They're it's a film of desperation. It You can feel the plea from both of them that they're wanting to work on it, but it just doesn't seem salvageable. It's a tragic situation. It was poetic. It was beautifully written, beautifully acted. It's just and it's a story that a lot of people probably can relate to, where a couple has drifted apart, but they're still trying so desperately to cling to each other. It was very, very well done.
As rain pours, there's usually a storm before life blooms once again. And I think that's sort of what we see here between these two characters. It seems as if they are at an ending. And there's this really nice serendipitous moment that we get to see with these two characters as they have this conversation with one another. And when we get to see our leading lady essentially go into her monologue of her perspective and the way she sees things, it's poetic, it's sad, it's gentle and nurturing, and delivered to us in such a way that it makes you really reflective. I found myself having this nice balance between this place between life and death, You know, we get to see how she views herself in the future, but not 5, 10 years, but when she has white hair. And the cinematography and editing really builds these and blends these worlds together, and you just have this sort of reflection of where would you want to be, what moves would you want to make, and if you're not happy, how do you realign and renegotiate with yourself to get to that part that you imagine yourself being when you have white hair.